Hello, everyone, and welcome to Legendary Golf. I'm Tom Bertrand, and today we're going to go over a little bit more of what Hogan's Secret was all about. A lot of people still don't understand the aspects that are involved with Hogan's Secret and what he termed was his secret. So I have here the copy of Ben Hogan's 5 lessons, and today we're going to go over a little bit of the foreword. The foreword is a great starting point because it's part of an interview that Nick Seitz did with Ben Hogan back in 1985 after the book had been out and they were issuing another release of the book in that year and put in a new foreword. The old foreword was actually done by Sidney James, who was a managing editor of Sports Illustrated. But Nick asked Hogan a bunch of questions, and one of the questions that really sticks in my mind is he said that Nick said, I had asked him, Ben Hogan, if he would write this book any differently today. I would write it the same way I did in 1957, Hogan said. Everything I know about the full swing is in here. I don't think the fundamentals will ever change. So, in looking back, Ben Hogan thought that he did the best job he could with the book in 1957. And almost 30 years later, it was still what he understood to be the fundamentals of golf. And today, what we're going to get into is what he said in that interview about the secret. So, this is because Hogan knew a lot of things that weren't actually in the book that he would put in there. Nick also found out from Hogan. Hogan said, in my early years on tour, I hooked the ball so badly I couldn't make a living. I would even hook with a weakened grip. I also couldn't hit the ball high enough. Finally, I found something that enabled me to stop hooking and hit the ball higher. And Nick said, I had not heard this story before, only that Hogan had weakened his grip, moving his hands more on top of the shaft to correct the hook. What was it he discovered? There followed a long, thoughtful pause by Hogan. It had to do with the face of the club. I came home for 2 weeks and practiced day long. The first time I tried it, it worked. But a lot of things worked the first time, and I couldn't wait to try it the next day. It worked again and again. Then I wanted to put it under pressure because golf and tournament golf are as different as tennis and ice hockey. I went to the George S. Mays double tournament in Chicago, and I won both tournaments. That proved it to me. What exactly had Hogan proved to himself? Well, listen to this. This is where it gets very technical, and a lot of people didn't understand it. And I'm going to show it to you after I read this little passage. Hogan said, I rolled the face of the club open away from the ball. He didn't say I swung my hands open. He said I rolled the face of the club open away from the ball. That cupped my left wrist. Coming down, the face was moving so fast I couldn't turn it over and hook. I was rotating the club like a baseball bat, and the faster I could rotate it, the more distance I got. Training myself, listen to that, training myself, it just didn't happen overnight. Training myself, I would roll the face open as fast and as far as I could. With this technique, I could hit the ball straight and farther. And Nick said from then on, Hogan quite likely was without peer as a shot maker. So, with that in mind, I have this little club here that I like to mess around with. And what I like to show people is exactly what what Hogan was talking about when he was rolling the club face. Well, when he was rolling that face, it was where his hands at address would be as such. And to roll the club face open, he would twist his hands. He would twist them on the way back. It would be in order to cup that left wrist. So he got it down here, and then he would twist his hands to the right, and it would open the club face, and he would keep it open all the way to the top of the backswing. Thereby, with a cupped wrist, he could go deep into the hitting area before the right hand gets to the top and rolls through the hitting area. So it's all in how you take the club away from the ball once you're at address. The first part of the takeaway. And it's a rotation of the hands. Okay? I talk about it in my book, and I've got some other videos on it, but people still, it's hard for people to see and understand because you have to feel it. You have to feel why you can't just take the club back, or why you can't just open the club face on the way back. Because remember, in Hogan's Secret, if you look at the article that was written in Life magazine back in 1955, when Hogan gets to his normal top of the swing, the hands, or I should say the wrist, would be flat. It would be a flat left wrist at the top. From this position right here, he would then go into his downswing. But when he incorporated the Secret, he would, when he twisted his hands, if you notice, his left wrist would be cupped because he's twisting his hand. All right, twisting that left hand as he's going back. And it looks similar to this. And you can look at the pictures in the Life magazine article. Google it, look it up, see what he was talking about as far as flat wrist and cupped wrist. Okay, flat wrist and cupped wrist. Because what it did was it not only opened the club face up for him faster, but it enabled him to keep the arms a little closer together, enabled him to point the right elbow to the ground. And when he did that, he was more able to get to the hitting area in a delayed fashion. What does that do? The delayed fashion in the hitting area enables you to hold on to the forces, the centrifugal force, till the last possible moment. And all your energy will be going to your target, not down to the ground. All right? So I'm going to show it a little bit more a little bit later in the swing itself, but I want you to see it up close, that it's the twist of the hands that really makes a difference.